All right then, so now what we are going to do is we are going to create this something like this, the tag which we are going to generate the tags for this particular job based on their role. So let's go ahead and do that. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna close all these things. Let me close all. And this is the right side container, right? So inside the right side container, we're gonna start writing the styles for it. So let's say class name, and I'm gonna say space y, it's going to be 6. All right, so over here next what we need to do, I'm gonna create an empty div, and inside that I'm gonna say one more division which is going to be class name, and flex item center and gap x, it's going to be 2. And inside here I'm gonna bring that icon badge, and I'm gonna send the icon as list checked. Okay, so save the changes, and now you should be able to see that. Then right over here I'm gonna bring the h2 tag, which is going to be having the class name as text as class name as text excel, and inside over here I'm going to say job requirements. Save these changes. That's how it should looks like. Okay, and of course it is going to be text neutral 700 or something. Perfect. Okay, so then right after this division, this is the division. Okay, so right after this inner division over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring, so inside this division is closing over there. Okay, so this is the place where we need to bring this the division, it's closing. Okay, so here we need to bring that tag form, or you can keep it as a tags form, so which is going to be exactly the same way. So let's copy it and paste it over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna say short description. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it, and then I'm going to change it to tags form.tsx. All right, so instead of short description, we're going to change all these things into tags form. Okay, save it and let's import it for the time being. Save it. Now you should be able to see the tags form over there. So let's go ahead and start customizing it. Okay, so now let's get back inside this tags form. So in this tags form, this is not going to be the short description, so let's make it as a schema. So inside the schema we have this tags string array. So let's get back to the tags form. Wherever the term short description is being used, I'm going to change everywhere as a tags. Okay, but tag is not going to be as a string, so in the default values we need to change those things. On the form schema we need to update it. So I'm gonna say in this case I'm just going to leave it as initial data alone. So okay, so here what we need to do is we have to change this as an array. So I'm going to change this tags as an array. So in order to do that, I'm going to set the object as an array object, and inside that it should going to have the string. So z dot string. Okay, and that is going to have at least minimum one, at least one tag is required. So that's the object that we have to set. Now you will not get any issues in the default values, you can see that. Okay, so the states which we needed is we need the editing prompt and all those things. Right after here I'm gonna get use state one more time, and I'm gonna set the tags over here. Okay, so or you can keep it as the job tags because we don't want to repeat the same name. Okay, so job tags, which is going to be an empty string array. So initial data dot tags, we are going to set that, and here I'm going to set this type as a string array type. Okay, so that is what the initial tag. So initially we are loading directly the initial data tags in the job tags itself. Of course, if the tag is having that value, it's going to have it, otherwise it's going to be an empty tag. Okay, so then right after here what we need to do is, so we need to customize this custom prompt and everything. Don't worry about it later for the time being. So here over here, job tags or something like that. Okay, and we need to customize this part. Don't worry about this. In this case, I'm just going to keep this as an empty. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to keep it empty for the time being, and later we need to make some customizations and everything. So if you check it out over here, you can see we have this values and we're having this place where we can able to alter this tags and everything, including the buttons also, action buttons, right? Okay, so now over here, next what we need to do is, so this is the input tag, which is going to be exactly the same way as it's supposed to be. But right after this paragraph tag, so this is going to have this content. So I'm gonna copy and paste that content over here. Not profession name alone enough to generate the tags. Perfect. Okay, so next we need to bring this division before this. So right over here we need to bring a division in order to display those tags and everything. Okay, so right after the notes and everything. Okay, so here we go. So here what I'm going to do is, if I do have the job tags, if the job tags dot length, if it is greater than 0, then what we need to do is, I'm gonna create a div. If that, so I'm gonna create a div. If it is not, I'm gonna create a paragraph, and I'm gonna simply say that it doesn't have any it doesn't have tags. Let's say no tags or something. So if it is having this, now if I get back over here, if I click edit, and you can see it showing as no tags. So inside this division, now what we need to do is, so over here, okay, so for this division, I'm gonna say if the tags is greater than length is greater than 0, and we need to do that mapping options and everything. So let's open the value brackets over here. So this is going to be job tags dot map function. Open it, and here we're gonna get the tag and as well as the index of the tag, and we're gonna supply it to that, and we're gonna get the callback value function, and I'm gonna render the division in it, and I'm gonna supply the key as the index of that. Then I'm gonna have the class name. So basically the class styles, it's going to have a small text size, text access or text access. Yes, this is the one. Flex, item center, gap, it's going to be 1, and white space no wrap, padding py, it's going to be 1, and px, it's going to be 2, and rounded, it's going to be medium, bg purple 100. That's the thing which is going to be the color. Let's enable the word wrap so we can see it clearly. Perfect. And inside this division, now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna display the tag, the value of the tag. Then if it is editing mode, if it is editing over here, I need to display a button where the user can able to delete that tag from button. And inside here, I'm going to display the X icon from the Lucid React, and which is going to have the class name as height as 3, width as 3. Save the changes, and for this, I'm going to say variant. Of course, it is going to be the ghost variant, and the class name, of course, it's going to be padding, of course, 0, and height, of course, it's going to be auto. And on click, I'm gonna have a callback function, and I'm going to say handle tag remove function, and I'm going to pass that index into it. So we don't have this function, so we have to create that function. So let's go ahead and create that respective function. Okay, so straight away, right after here, I'm going to say const handle tag remove. It's going to be a callback function. Open it, and we are going to get the index, which is going to be the number. Okay, so now inside this we need to update our prompting. So I'm gonna change the prompt. So basically what we need to do is we need to ask the prompt to be very clear. The prompt needs to be very clear. So wait a minute. I think it is not closed properly. Yes. So here what we are asking is, so we are asking to generate an array of top 10 keywords related to the job profession of the prompt, whatever we are searching. Then those keywords should the various aspects of that profession, including skills, responsibility, tools, technology commonly associated with it. Aim for the diverse sets of keyword that accurately represents the breadth of the profession. Your output should be list or array of keywords. Okay, make sure that it should be mentioned and just return me the array alone. We need the array alone. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so here instead of this, what we are going to do, we are just going to say console.log that data, what kind of data that we are going to get back from there. Okay, so we need finish that. Then what we need to do is, we don't need this. I think we don't need that form data itself. We don't need that form data itself. So I'm gonna simply delete this form from here. So I don't need the form itself. Simply delete it. We don't need the form data itself. So save it. So now over here, let's check it out whether we are getting the array itself or not. If we are not getting it, we need to fix that issue. Okay, so here I'm just going to search for UI developer, and if I click generate, that is going to generate, and here we go. So we are getting the array alone. Okay, so now using this array, we need to render it over here. So that's what we are going to do now. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we need to bring the buttons. So we know that we're having all these things. So what we need to do is we need to display those tags just exactly the same way what we do have over here. Okay, so this is the place where we are getting those tags, right? So all I have to do is to set these tags to where, to that particular state. So I need to make sure before that whether the data whatever we are getting is an array or not. So we need to check the data response is an array or not. So in order to do that, so if array dot is array, then I need to supply the data into it. If it is array, then I need to do the console log. So let's bring the console log over here. So let's make sure that whatever the data we are getting, it's an array or not. If it is not, then we need to do something else. So let's check it out. All right, so whatever the data that we are getting, it's an array. So we can make sure we can confirm that. So inside here now, what I need to do is I need to set this to the job tags. So whatever the tags that I do have previously, I need to fetch those. So let's get the previous tags. Then I'm going to convert it into an array. Then I'm going to destructure the previous tags, whatever I do have. Then I'm going to destructure the data, what I'm getting back. So by this way, we can keep the old data and as well as the new tags. If you can keep on generate how much number of tags, but every time it's going to give you the top 10 only. Okay, so save these changes. Now let's check it out. If I click generate, it's generated. And so this is the thing, it's need to be displayed right now, but here nothing is happening. So let's refresh it and let's check it out now. UI developer, if I generate it, I think we are getting still we are getting console.log, but I removed that console.log tags form. That's why I'm wondering why it is keep on doing the console.log. Let's stop the server. Yep, it stopped. Let's rerun it. because I removed the console.log, right? But still I'm getting the log data over there. That's why I'm wondering. Let's refresh it. And now let's go here and let's check it out. UI developer or something. See, still, okay, this is coming from AI Studio.ts. So, which means the place, whatever we are getting over here. So, I think let's do the console log now. Console log with some text in client side or something, and let's try to print the data. Now we can able to figure out where from where it is been printing. So if I click generate option, look at here, see, it's simply printing it because it is not displaying it from the client side. So now if I put it up a little bit, because the data what we are getting, it's not an array, we are getting it as a string. See, this is the data which we are getting, it's string. So now what I need to do is I need to convert this into an array. Okay, so what we can do is, let's try this one. JSON dot parse that data, save it, check it out, close it, and now let's check it out. There we go. So now we are getting it as an array. Okay, so we are getting the values as an array. And now over here, let's convert this into JSON dot parse dot data, and let's do the console log over here. So now only if it is an array, then it will get printed. There we go. Okay, so something is happening differently, and I'm not sure why it is happening like that. Okay, so the reason over here is because we are directly destructuring it before converting it into, not converting into as a data. Okay, so now this might fix that issue. So let's refresh the page, and now let's search for a UI developer or something, and let's refresh, click generate option, and here we go. We are getting the each and every values as a separate one, but the styles which is not quite looking perfectly fine. Let's check it out why the styles are not looking in a proper way. Oops, I need to wrap that stuff, right? All these things need to be wrapped inside. This entire thing needs to be wrapped in a div. So let's create a div and paste it inside. And for this, I'm gonna say class name, flex item center, gap it's going to be 2, and flex it's going to be a wrap. Now everything should be perfectly fine. Bingo. All right, so now we have all these the things which is perfectly fine over there. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this console log. We don't need to have this console log anymore, so close it. Okay, so now I need to add this handle remove option. This is the place where we are getting that remove options and everything. So here what I need to do is, we are passing the index number, right? So in that case, what I'm going to say, I'm going to create const updated tags is equals to, I'm going to destructure all those job tags over here. Okay, then I'm going to splice that. So updated tags dot splice, I'm going to splice it, splice. So I'm going to supply the index number. I'm going to splice only one value. So basically splice value helps you to remove the value from the array. So from that index, that's a starting point, I'm going to delete only one value. Okay, then I'm going to say set jobs tags is equals to updated tags. Save the changes. So now if I remove this agile, you can see that particular thing, it's been removed. I can able to delete the unwanted tags which I don't want from here onwards, just like that. So now what I need to do is I need to have two sets of button, one to clear the tags and another one is to save the tags. So right after this division, I'm going to create one more div, which is going to be class name, flex item center, gap, of course, it's going to be 2, and justify the content at the end. Gap, it's going to be 2, and justify the content at the end. And right after here, I'm going to have a button, and we're going to have two sets of button. One, this is going to be type, it's going to be the button itself, and for this is going to be the submit. Okay, so inside here I'm just going to say clear all, and here I'm just going to say save. So this is going to be the variant of outline, and for here on this on click, I'm gonna call a callback function, which is basically going to set the set job tags as what, as an empty tag. Then I'm gonna simply call the on submit, and I'm gonna supply the tags value as an empty, because on submit is a function of our form schema, and I'm going to send the value as a tags directly, and I'm going to sending it as an object. In that, I'm going to send the tags as an empty array. And by the time when you are submitting it, so and over here you need to add one more thing, which is going to be the disabled, which is going to be is submitting. Whenever the form has been submitting, it's need to be disabled. Do the same thing for over here also, is submitting. All right, then for this on click, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call an on click, and for that I'm going to submit this button on submit. I'm going to send an object tags. For the tags object, I'm going to send the job tags. Okay, because we removed the form, right? So that's the reason we are manually triggering this event, and we are sending the objects for the form value. What is the object value? Tags. So we are sending the object tags value whenever you're doing this events and everything. Okay, so over here we need to have some space, so I'm just going to say margin top, it's going to be 4. So now we should able to have some space over here. So now if I click this, look at that. So the job tags and everything, it's been updated. So if I refresh it over here, I should be able to see the tags. See, we do have those 21 array values as a string of array. So we have the tags, but we can't able to display it. So what I'm going to do is, so basically, so we are going to display it over there, which is exactly the same thing. So we are going to display that where straight away over here. Instead of this paragraph tag, what we can do is we can create a division first. So div, and inside this div is, let's add some styles, flex item center, flex wrap, and gap, of course, it's going to be 2. And here I'm just going to check whether we do have the initial data, whether it is having the tags or not. Tags, and the tags length should be greater than 0. If it is say so, then what I need to do, I need to open this. Then I'm just going to say initial data dot tags dot map function. I'm going to get that tag and as well as the index, and I'm going to call the callback value function. Inside here, I'm going to render something. Okay, so we ran into some issue. So wait a minute. If so, here, if it is say so, it's going to have a value, and if not, it's going to have something. So in this first one, don't worry about this. In this first one here, initial data dot tags dot map, open it. It's going to have a callback, and here we're going to get the tag and as well as the index. This is not going to be curly brackets because we are going to render it, so use the no value brackets. Inside here, I'm going to bring a division, class name, and we need to supply the key, which is going to be the index itself. And for this, which is going to be the exact same style what we have used over here, so copy it and let's paste it over here. And here I'm gonna bring the tag itself. Okay, so we have the tag itself. And next, what we need to do, if it doesn't have anything, so I just need to simply display a paragraph tag which is going to say no tags. Save it. Now you should be able to see all those tags and everything. So now even if I click it, I can able to make some changes in the previous tags and everything. I can close some unwanted tags and everything, like analytics, user research, and Scrum, Sketch. And I can, if I wish to add graphic design, something like that, if I click generate, and that is going to add few more tags over it. And if I click save it, and that is going to update that tags over here. So we successfully finished the tag section, and the next thing we can go on for the company details, where I can able to create myself a new company, just like the same way for the job, but in this case for the new company. So you need to add the new company over here, and once you added some companies and all these things, so for instance, if I click edit option for the company, we can able to see we have the, for the companies also we have the same thing. So for why we have to join us and company overview, just exactly the same thing. We can use the same component again and again, and we can just modify the data and we can create the company instantly. And that is what we are going to do now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that.